Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing editor here at CinemaBlend, back with another analysis video for the latest episode of The Mandalorian, chapter number 11. We basically pick up right where we left off. This entire season has been one long story, and the Razor Crest is badly damaged, and Mando is still trying to deliver the sweet frog lady, which led to a really sweet frog reunion. That was adorable. That reminded me a bit about the heart that can be found in Star Wars. That even though it's dealing with these incredible creatures in these far off galaxy planets, that there is humanity that can be found within the characters, and there is real genuine emotion that we tap into that keeps us bringing back to these characters and these stories. The production values on Mandalorian so far have just been exquisite, and every time I sort of watch a new episode, I'm reminded, like, this really is what they needed to be doing with Star Wars, the universe of Star Wars this entire time. And I'm not trying to slam the sequel trilogy, but by forcing in the recognizable elements, I feel like they were doing a bit of a disservice to what they could be doing if you just branched out into the universe and told original stories with new characters that we're meeting. Because every time that we start another episode and we meet, like this time, it's scoundrel pirates who look a bit like they've been lifted off the set of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and we're following Mando, who is this Mandalorian who we know the Mandalorians, but we never followed this character before, and we're totally invested in that storyline. And through the course of it, you learn new things about the Star Wars universe, but it still feels very organic to what we liked about the original trilogy from this point on, to the point where when we meet Bo-Katan, she's part of a similar race of Mandalorians who are different because they're a different sect, and his way is not necessarily her way. And when they now both say this is the way to each other, they mean different stuff, and they have different motives, but they're still dedicated to sort of doing the right thing, which is when they snap into action and help Mandalorian get the child back from that creature. We still do get to the moment in the episode, which seems to happen in every single episode, where someone new who we've met turns to Mandalorian and is like, yeah, I can help you with where you're trying to get to, but first, you're going to help us on our mission. And it's been a series of like a video game. You're on the next level, right? And here's the next boss that you're gonna have to fight. But this boss ties back to Moff Gideon, which is, again, an important character from the first season. I don't know if it's necessarily big bad. The Empire still at large is the big bad. I found it pretty fascinating that from a physical theme, the episode starts and borderline ends with a ship plummeting, and that's just some outstanding work by Bryce Dallas Howard, the director of this episode, who really incorporates the visual mythology of Star Wars. Like, you get these hallway fights between stormtroopers and Mandalorians, and when you watch that play out, it feels like you've been rewound to 1977 or the early 1980s when all of this was what defined our childhood. We're watching it again. How many decades later, and yet it's being told in new and exciting ways, and told by storytellers who grew up on this and grooved on this, and how the imagery that George Lucas put into his original films, to see them have those tools and those toys available to them and being able to tell new stories in it, is just what makes Mandalorian as a television series that much more special to me. Now, speaking of toys, a huge controversy about Baby Yoda and the eggs, and I thought maybe for a brief minute when the two frog people, the frog couple, met and reunited, I thought Baby Yoda was going to be like, oh wait, hold on, I've got some of your eggs, and sort of regurgitate them, because there was a theory. People got mad at Baby Yoda, essentially, that he was eating the eggs, and it did seem like a really odd choice when the previous episode had gone through so much work to say, hey, don't even jump to hyperspace because these eggs are super sensitive and we need to protect them at all costs. But then you include Baby Yoda eating them as a laugh line, and I thought, that's not the case. Like, there's going to be something else more to it. That didn't happen, and instead we get another deliberate scene of when Mandalorian drops Baby Yoda off in order to be babysat. He sees the eggs again and seems really attached to them. They're very important to him, and not from an eating type of thing, but more there's a connection there. There's some sort of distinct connection there. And if you need any more proof that the storyline between Baby Yoda and the eggs is going to be relevant, Funko Pop has a toy, and it's Baby Yoda with the egg container and all of the orange glowing eggs, which is cool. But either that's an indication that they're going to be really, really important because they went through the trouble to create a toy based around Baby Yoda and the eggs, or simply Lucasfilm was so annoyed that they didn't merchandise Baby Yoda and everything Mandalorian last Christmas season, and now they're just going to merchandise and offer up every single thing that you can think of in terms of Mando. And that also might be the case, but I'm not quite sure. I don't think that that's it. I think the eggs are going to be pretty significant, and I think that while I thought we were going to get it for this week's episode, the explanation, I still think it's coming. So we'll see how that plays out. What was teased for next episode? Mandalorian finally finds out where he can find the Jedi, and guess who's coming to the show? Ahsoka Tano is finally going to show up, and man, that is going to be a reveal. I kind of dig that they know it's big enough that they tease it at the end of this episode, and they're like, here's who you need to go find them, and of course fans go crazy for it. I think that her reveal in the show is going to be an all-timer. Maybe it would have been cool if they didn't even tease. Maybe if they just said, like, you have to go to this planet and find a Jedi and leave us wondering for a week who it's going to be. And so we'll be back for Chapter 12, which will be, I hope, the introduction of Ahsoka Tano to the land of the Mandalorian, and the missions will continue. And I hope somebody next episode doesn't get to a point where they say to Mandalorian, oh, maybe it's Ahsoka. Maybe it's Ahsoka who says, sure, Mandalorian, I'll help you with your overall mission, but first, you have to help me with this particular mission that's only going to take the course of this episode, because it is still pretty standalone as a structure. But we're going to keep our laser focus on all things Mandalorian for the course of season 2. I cannot wait to see where this action goes. Of course, we're going to be doing Mandalorian all throughout season 2, so make sure you keep it here on CinemaBlend for our written analysis, and of course these video breakdowns that I'm going to do after each episode. In order to make sure that you don't miss any of them, hit like and subscribe. Go down to the comment section, let me know what you thought about this week's episode, and we'll be back next week for Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian.